This is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
COVID no longer controls our lives. Our economy is not figuratively, literally, the strongest economy in the world. Historic low black unemployment. Record growth of black small businesses. Let me say this again, because Trump is lying like hell about it. The black unemployment hit a record low under Biden-Harris administration. The first bill I passed would put $1,400 checks plus $300 checks per child, per family, per month in the pockets of people in this country to get them through the pandemic. Not Trump's administration. Kamala and I did that.
I mean, his record is impeccable. Getting us out of COVID, getting the child tax credit out the door, cutting black, not just black, but cutting poverty for children in half in this here country. I mean, it's an amazing record. And the only policy that I heard last night, the only thing I heard going on that stage last night was crosses and churches behind women who were not Christian. As a welcome to our thing, whatever their thing is, your religion is kind of illegitimate here, but we'll tolerate you just for the sake of saying that we're inclusive. And the word inclusive is just, it's almost illegal in the Republican Party at this point. And then you have, the most disgusting attribution about any crime in the United States being the fault of illegal immigrants, when we have a problem in this country with dead children, and the number one cause of dead children in America is guns, and they don't want to talk about that. And in fact, when they were doing their Make America Safe Once Again night, do you know that they had an AR-15 giveaway? Do you know that they did that last night? That's how sick they are. That's how attached to a piece of metal their identity is. I mean, it was so bizarre. But Daniel Defense, that company that sold a lot of guns to a lot of mass shooters, they were giving away an AR-15 last night. And it's so sick. It's just, it's such projection. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my entire freaking life. But Biden went to the NAACP in Nevada. And he talked about, things that matter to the NAACP in Nevada and elsewhere. And at the end, the people, they did like walk and talks to find out what people thought of Biden and whether or not they were voting for him.
What did you think about Biden's speech?
I think it was a really great speech. I felt pumped and I'm very excited to vote. This will be my first time voting on November 5th. So I'm very excited to put in my vote.
You hear all this fake news about what he can't do, but as far as content, he knew what he was talking about, and he definitely knew the black community, and he came in here prepared to address all those issues, and he explained clearly what he had accomplished, what we need to focus on, and this Project 25, and don't be fooled, and we are all in.
I thought the speech was great. I think that it set in the right tone. I think he addressed almost every policy issue you could think about in depth, and he spoke to this community, and which this community affects the broader community. I think we got to be mindful of listening directly to what he said versus listening to what people tell us he said. I think he was clear, and I think he was energized, so I'm all in as well.
It was excellent. That's what we needed to hear, the truth. What he's done and what his vision is.
I really enjoyed it. I loved how he connected with the people. I love that he spoke about issues that really matter and are pressing in this time. I love that he has a vision to overcome the systemic barriers that have been placed and have been a hindrance in our community.
It actually calmed my nerves because, of course, what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. So it calmed my nerves to see that he was in control of what he was talking about, and he didn't look weak at all. He didn't stumble.
I loved it. I thought he brought the energy, and I think he put a lot of the rumors and thoughts and opinions of the media to rest, and I think he really made a statement on his own for the black community.
What do you think about the speech?
I think Biden's speech was fantastic, and I feel like he cleared up rumors and he is all in for us as black African Americans.
thought President Biden's speech brought the crowd alive. I appreciate the fervor that he brought, the passion. That's what voters need to see from him.
I thought it was great. I thought it was powerful. I thought the energy was there.
And let's stay together. God bless you all. And may God protect you.
They liked him. I guess if you watch the corporate media, they don't like him so much. They're not all about him so much. In fact, Lester Holt was very combative with our president, not asking our president about any policy at all, about anything about the Supreme Court and some of the weirdness that we see going on there, and the lack of following precedent, stare decisis, if you will, if you must. No, nothing about any of that. Nothing at all. Nothing about the economy. Nothing about, you hear the other side talking about black jobs. What is a black job, Mr. President? No, it was all about, your debate sucked. Do you want to get back up on the horse, sir, and debate him again? Why? I guess they need, something to draw the viewers in. I guess this is all about ratings for the corporate media. I guess that's where we are. Because what you have is a lying sack of dung. Last night they did the fact check of the second night of the RNC. You ready for this? This is the fact check.
There was a lot of stuff you can't really try to fact check. There were personal stories, general praise of Trump, broad denunciations of Biden, subjective accusations that Biden was personally responsible for drug overdose deaths, which I think we should note rose under President Trump as well. But there was also some significant inaccuracy we can check. Arizona U.S. Senate candidate Kari Lake made a wildly false claim that her Democratic opponent, Ruben Gallego, voted to allow illegal immigrants to vote in this election.
There was
That's a brazen distortion of a recent House vote on voter registration requirements. Senator Ted Cruz of Texas claimed with no evidence at all that Democrats deliberately let in illegal immigrants to somehow get their votes. Non-citizens cannot legally vote, and the data shows almost never do. And I thought it was notable that some of the most significant false or misleading claims tonight came from members of the House Republican leadership. Listen to what GOP Conference Chair Elise Stefanik and House Speaker Mike Johnson said about violent crime.
Biden's violent crime crisis, fueled by Democrats' pro-criminal sanctuary cities and defund the police policies like we have seen in my home state of New York.
We can't survive the dramatic increases in violence, crime, and drugs that the Democrats' policies have brought upon our communities.
Well, I'll do it again. This claim that there have been dramatic increases in violence and crime under Biden is false. In fact, both violent crime and property crime have fallen under President Biden, and there have been big declines over the last year and a half. Preliminary figures from the FBI show that violent crime is down roughly 6% in 2023, and then it dropped by a staggering 15% in the first quarter of 2024. The declines in murder in particular were even bigger. And so now, key fact here, murder in particular and violent crime in general are both below where they were in 2020, Trump's last year in office. Now, Congresswoman Stefanik's claim of a Biden violent crime crisis is subjective, I guess, but she certainly did not note that Trump had a violent crime crisis when he had worse numbers. I'm going to cough. Now, I'll caution again, this is preliminary data. A big chunk of local communities haven't submitted their numbers yet, so the precise extent of the decline in violent crime is to be determined, but it's clearly falling and not rising. And I also want to address, Anderson, a claim from House Majority Leader Steve Scalise on the Biden administration's record on U.S. energy production. Take a listen.
Yeah.
Let's talk energy.
Yeah.
They've eroded the American energy dominance that President Trump delivered.
What?
We will end the Democrats' assault on American energy once and for all.
This claim about a Biden-era Democratic assault on American energy is misleading at very best. While it's true that Biden is pushing for a transition to renewables, the U.S. under Biden is producing more crude oil than any country ever has. It is a fact. The U.S. is setting fossil fuel world records under this administration. The U.S. produced a global record 12.9 million barrels of crude oil per day in 2023, easily beating the Trump-era high of about 12.3 million barrels. And Scalise also spoke of U.S. energy exports under Biden. Well, U.S. crude exports in 2023 were also the highest on record for anybody. Now, we should be clear here, not to suggest these records are being set because of President Biden, who certainly has taken a bunch of steps the fossil fuel industry, oil companies don't like. These are market-driven increases, a lot of them caused by improvements in fracking, horizontal drilling technology. But nonetheless, Republicans, including former President Trump, keep pushing this notion that Biden has crushed U.S. oil and gas production. Trump sometimes says Biden has ended it entirely, and all this stuff is not close to true.
Not close, not even adjacent to the truth, not even in the neighborhood, not even in the same county, definitely not the same town, and certainly maybe not even in the same state or country. It was such a lie fest, and it always, always is. But I want you to understand the Trump plan, okay? He wants to give the 5 largest U.S. oil companies, the people who are gouging you, okay, the people who have made $520 billion in profits this year, Exxon, Mobil, Chevron, Marathon, Petroleum, ConocoPhillips, Phillips 66, and Valero, he wants to cut their taxes after they reported $90 billion in profits. In profits, at a time when you're being gouged, he wants to reward them with a tax cut. With a tax cut from 21% to 15%. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to RandiRhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.